Hello, 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 hello. It is a pleasure. Hi, guys. It is a pleasure to join you. I am here for our 7 o'clock mastermind group talk, and we're talking about romantic relationships, guys. So, why am I talking about romantic relationships? Because it is so important that we pick wisely who it is that we decide to spend our time with and our life with, because when we spend those relationships that are and in line with our excuse me, calling, then we're bound to do well. But when we spend our time in romantic relationships with people that are not on the same page as us and not interested in seeing us fulfill our goals and our true calling, then it's going to be more challenging. And so we're just causing ourselves extra angst and extra pain. So when I decided we were going to do this topic today, there were so many people that contacted me and said, "Oh, Arlene, I'm going through a situation right now where my romantic relationship is affecting my business or affecting my career." So we're just going to wait for some more people to get on, and I am going to get started as soon as they do. I'm going to have some tea so that I do not cough. We are still waiting on some more people to get on. And I'm learning to fix my new technology. Okay, guys, because I've not done this before on my cell phone. Usually do it on the laptop. So we are getting it together. All right. So I see so many of you are trying to click on. Be patient with me. I can see your names popping up. And give me a minute to be able to click on. All righty. Okay, guys, so don't click off. Just know that I am working on it. Romantic relationships. So we have several people entering the room, but you haven't entered the room yet because I have not clicked on you to enter the room. So please be patient. Paciencia. Patience is a virtue. Yes, it is a virtue. And we are still working on getting all of that technology in order. But anyway, back to relationships. Guys, as I look at my life and I look at, the career that I've had, there are many times when I've been very successful. And I had 2 people on the show with me, 2 ladies who have been very successful in business. And they were talking about how when their romantic relationships, ironically, were going very well, that's not usually the same time when their businesses were doing well. But when their romantic relationships weren't. Hold on, guys. I had 2 people on the show with me, 2 ladies who have been very successful in business. I'm gonna figure this out. Their romantic relationships, ironically, were going very well. That's not. Okay, all right. I think I'm getting it now. I think I'm gonna be able to get you guys in now. Admit. Hey, guys. So this is the first time, like I said, that I've done YouTube on my phone and some of the other platforms on my phone. And usually I have the team to help me. So I know that you guys are on. I just can't see you. So somebody let me know in the chat if we're still on YouTube or if I clicked it off by accident. All right. All right. So back to what I was saying. It's so important that we pick in earnest and pick correctly, because the romantic relationships can really, really damage the business. So I gave you two examples of two young ladies who are very successful. One is in $1 million plus business. She is doing very well, but her challenge all the time, and because she is so well vested in her business, her husband has a little bit more of a challenge with her because she's not doing some of the things that she was doing in the past, like being at home all the time and, adhering to his needs and adhering to the family's needs, because now she has to split her time between her business and her family. So there's something to be said for being zealous about your business and truly giving it your all. But then on the flip side, if you do have a family and you do have a romantic partner, you want to be able to give them the time that you've been able to give them in the past. And it's just not going to happen, guys, because you can't split yourself up into little pieces and give everybody exactly what they've always had before if you're now giving your heart and mind to this new business. So there's also a very successful business owner. His name is Grant Cardone. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. If you've not, well, he's a very successful business owner, and he speaks a lot about how he didn't get married until later on in life because he really wanted to invest his time and his effort and his energy in his business. He wanted to make that bag, wanted to get those funds in order so that he could truly support his wife and his kids in a way that was truly reflective of what he wanted. Somebody said they were trying to get in and they weren't able to. All right. So it's so important sometimes that, especially if you're really young, that you invest your time and energy and effort into making sure that career is in order, that you'll have those finances in order, so that then you can be able to share more time and have more of a pleasurable time with that partner or with that special someone. If you're not able to pay your bills, then it's going to be very challenging. Okay. This is where the team comes in handy, guys. This is where the team comes in handy, because I wouldn't be doing all of this myself. So I love my team. I love my team. And it's great to be on when my team is on in the early afternoon. Because we also do live on Thursdays at noon. So back to what I was saying. It's so important. Hey, welcome. I see you on. So it's so important that we spend time, especially early on, establishing the roles that you want and the rules that you want in your romantic relationship. Because if you're giving that person all your time in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, in month 2, month 3, month 4, or year 2, you spring this business on them, and now you're spending all the time in this business, it's going to be challenging. So I'm so grateful that now we have some of our other masterminders that have been on, because I'm learning how to use this technology on my cell phone. I wasn't sure if I'll be able to do it. So I wanted to share with you guys what some of the rules are of the mastermind. So first of all, what is a mastermind? What are we doing? Okay, we are working together to discuss topics of interest that affect all of us as business owners and as successful people looking to grow and expand. So each person comes to the table with their own insight, okay, with their own challenges, but also with their own insight on the topic, and we invite everyone to share. Some of you are on live, in which case you're going to click the hand symbol, and I'll see you and be able to acknowledge you and bring you into the group. And then you'll speak. And And then those of you who are on other social media platforms, I'm asking you to write your comments in the chat so that I can see it, and then I'll still be able to ask the mastermind your questions and or share some of your comments. Okay, so in the mastermind, we want everyone to feel comfortable to be able to share. All right, of paramount importance is that we don't disparage anybody from talking. Okay, this is all about communication. This is all about sharing your thoughts and ideas. And in this world, there's so many challenges. There's so many people who are knocking us down left and right. Don't say that. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, don't do that. But in this environment, it is a warm, receptive environment where we want to hear from you. And we want to give you an opportunity to be heard and to hear us. Okay? So let us begin. And I am Arlene. We usually introduce ourselves. I am a life coach and a business consultant, which means that I help you to move forward in your business, project, or endeavor. I am today sharing about romantic relationships because throughout my life, I believe that that's been something that has greatly impacted my career at different times. So I can see the validity of this topic. And I wish that somebody early on had spoken with me about it so that I would have been able to make better decisions early on. So I have a book. It is called 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear, Getting Unstuck in Life, and Living Your Best Life. I'd love for you to go to the website, AskArleneShow.com. Click on the link and get the book. Okay, we also do this mastermind group every Thursday at 7 o'clock. And because I'm a life coach, we do a life coaching program, which is the 10 secrets. Okay, I had the death of my mom a couple of years ago, and I got really stuck as a result. And I needed coaching to help me to begin moving forward. And guys, I am in New York City, and this man has just come to the side of my window, and he refuses to move. And I'm just gonna be honest, because I'm like, what is going on? But that's the beauty of New York. You never know what's gonna happen in New York. You know, that was mild. That was mild. He's just standing here. Okay, moving right along. What I was saying was, what was I saying? So we do a program, and the program is the 10 secrets to overcoming fear and getting unstuck after COVID-19, because these are the 10 secrets that help me to move forward and get unstuck in my life and in my career. And I want to see you guys get unstuck. I know some people have been impacted greatly by COVID-19, and you need to like get up and start moving again and get your goals and ideals in order. The first step of the 10 secrets is clarity, getting clear about what you want, being clear about who you are before you start writing out what you want in that romantic partner. Oh, I want this, I want that. No, it's about an inner game. Who are you being? What are you reflecting out to the world? That's step number 1. And there are 10 other steps that are relevant, but I'm not going to go on with that because I want the other people of you to be able to introduce yourself. So go ahead and type in the chat and tell me what you do, and I'll share with people who are on and what you do. And then for those of you who want to share today on the call live, you are welcome to do so, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So click on the thing and put your hand up and I'll acknowledge you if you're interested in sharing. Okay, Aleka, share with us who you are in the world and what you do. Yes, my co-mastermind.
Yes, excuse me for sleeping last week. I was like, oh, what time is it? Yes, it's so great to be here with you in New York. I was looking at the scenery. I was like, that is not LA. And I said, oh, she was on the plane yesterday in the mastermind. And George Madu was like, oh, we have somebody in the air. I was like, oh, I don't know if you heard him. But yes, my name is Omeka Rich. I am a pray, heal, drum goddess becoming. I would put that becoming there. And I help people move through their fear and move through their moving through whatever it is that you get stuck. Kind of like Arlene, I do it through music, and I do it through creating beautiful jewelry to help move the stuck energy in our minds and in our lives. And as a result of listening to me and hearing the rhythm of the drum, which is connected to our hearts and connected to the earth. We can move our energy into a place of knowing and purpose. And yeah, so I'm here.
Beautiful. Another thing that Omeka does that she did not share with you that she does is this woman is a jewelry maker, and she is quite successful at making her jewelry. She has been an owner of a jewelry store in the past, and she's still doing her jewelry despite COVID-19. You know, many people say, oh, well, I can't do what I used to do because of COVID-19. Well, here's your example, guys. Here is your example. And she's doing rather lucratively at this particular venture. So I'm so excited to have her on with me as a co-masterminder, and just really, really a person who's interested in seeing your business grow, just like I am. And that's why we're here. So I was on and I shared some content from the mastermind in the past, and somebody had some comments about the mastermind. And I wanted to share this one tip. Life is not about perfection. Okay. It's about you getting up and becoming, as Omeka said, becoming who it is that you know you're truly meant to be. So if you're looking for perfection before you get up and start, you will not find it. Okay. Even the world's most successful person last year, the person who made the most money, the owner of Amazon, his name is, what's his name, Omeka?
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos, thank you. He didn't start where he is now. He worked on his business for 7 years before he turned a profit, okay? So in the 6th year, the end of the 6th year, he made more money than he did the whole first 6 years. That's why in the 7th year, he was the wealthiest person in terms of revenue generated in a business. So let's all just get on. You know, I'm welcoming you. Some of you are on different platforms and you're just listening, but I welcome you to, you know, be a warrior like Omeka and actually get on and talk, okay? And share your story, okay? Because when you watch me and you watch her, that's great. It is great, you know, and I hope you join our my life coaching program as well. But what really benefits you, how you really begin to win at the game of life, is by you practicing as well. I'm giving you a platform. We're creating a platform for our people who are a part of our mastermind. So don't just watch us win, okay? Because then all you're doing is watching us win. We want you to have an opportunity to win as well. So, hey, we have some new faces in our place. And so we want to give people an opportunity to introduce themselves if they would like. We're at introductions. Would you like to introduce yourself, Mr. Scott? Or are you just listening in? Okay, so we're gonna start. Also, Dennis, do you want to say hi? Or are you just listening?
It says he's connecting to audio, so I'm not sure. Maybe he's internet.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna start. So why are we talking about relationships? We've been talking about for the past 2 weeks. As I said, nobody told me this. When I was going through school, they told me it's really important that you study hard, that you get a good job, that you go to a good college, that you invest in, you know, good financial information in order to win at the game of life. But guys, guess what? The most important thing that you will ever make is that decision of who you choose to love and who you choose to partner up with, okay? Whether it be a romantic relationship or a business relationship. And why do you say this, Arlene? Why are you saying this? Because let's say you have this successful lifestyle and you partner with somebody who is not successful and is not going anywhere. You are trying to drag that person up, but that person will not be dragged. They're yesing you. They're saying, yeah, we're gonna do it, yeah. But they're not going up. They're spending your funds, okay? Sitting on your couch. And so there is no such thing in this genre as standing still. So you may think I'm standing still because I'm not going forward yet. And I'm really not trying to go backwards. But the secret is that if you're not going forward, you're actually going backwards. Okay, it's a principle. It's a principle. So what's most important is that you continue to look at that partner especially if you haven't decided yet. I mean, if you're already married or you're already in a relationship, my thing is love the one you're with, okay, and work with what you're with, because the grass is always greener on the other side and you don't know what you're going to get next time. But if you're not yet connected with that, person, that life partner, then my advice to you is to make sure that you guys are going in the same direction. And the goal is not to find a person that matches with you now. The goal and the secret is to find, and this is the hard part, guys. I had to learn this the hard way. The goal and the secret is to find the person that matches with you, the you that you plan to be 5 years from now. Okay, the you that you plan to be 10 years from now. Because that's where the challenge lies. People connect, and they're connecting based on the now. But who you are now, if you're making progress and you're in your business and you're growing and you're expanding, is not who you're supposed to be 5 years from now. That's why secret number 1 in the 10 secrets is clarity. Being clear about who you are, who you plan to be, who you want to be. And does this person that you're connecting with reflect who you want to be? Or are they going in the same direction as you? Or are they even supporting the direction in which you're going? Okay, because there's a wise proverb that says, how can two walk together except they agree? So if you guys are like not agreeing, little by little, you're going further and further out as time goes on. Okay, it's called momentum. So your momentum and your trajectory is either like this, or your trajectory is like this, and you're getting further and further apart. And that's what happens a lot of times in relationships. And I wish somebody had kind of explained that to me, that, you got to look at where you're going to be and where they're going to be and where you plan to be and where they plan to be. And if they're not the same, guys, then you need to kind of work on that. All right. And it's not about pulling people up, okay, or beating people over the head with what you have. So now we're doing this mastermind group, and there are people on the mastermind who are growing and they want to expand. And your partner may not be interested in growing and expanding. Your partner may just be interested in, eating bonbons and watching TV. And he or she is yesing you. Yeah, because you're talking and you're so excited in my business. But if they're not truly vested in what you're vested in, how can it work? And why spend time vesting in somebody who you're not going to end up with in the end anyway? Because 5 years down the line, they're going to get tired. 10 years down the line, a wise person, and this is, I'm going to open it up, but a wise person said, anybody can dress up on a Friday night or a Saturday night and say yes and smile and say nice things, while the real person is at home locked up, waiting to get out. And you wonder, 5 years in, you look up and you're like, but this is not who I thought he was, or this is not who I thought she was. That's who they were all along. And you're fighting a losing battle. Okay, so get on the same page. Find people that you can get on the same page with, or at least have a similar trajectory. Okay, so I'm going to open it up and ask the question. What is it that you have learned about relationships that you think has greatly enhanced you or could greatly enhance someone else? And like I said, everyone wants to be able to share. So I'm going to ask you to keep it to a 3-minute minimum, what it is that your comments are. And go ahead and just put your hand up and I'll acknowledge you and know that you'd like to share or speak. Oh, and guys, I need somebody to type in the chat and tell me, are we on YouTube? Can you guys hear me on YouTube? Because I'm on the phone and I can't really see it. Are we on YouTube? Hopefully we are. Okay.
What
all
is
right.
it, the Arlene show?
Yeah, ask Arlene show.
That's Arlene
Somebody's
show.
texted, somebody said yes. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so go ahead. Tell us something that you have learned in your relationship that you think would be of help. Okay, so secret number 2 is visualization. So we said being clear, not just about who the person is and what you want from that person, but being clear about who you are. This is so important. A lot of shows and a lot of gurus talk about you writing your list of what you want in that partner. But You're only going to reflect, you're only going to get back what you give out. Because when you find that ideal person that you think you want, if you're not on the same trajectory with that person, then it's going to be very hard for you guys to flow together. And I mean, I guess it seems like I'm saying the same thing in different ways, but that's why so many people are not in their ideal relationship, or they think there's nobody for them, because the person that they're looking for and them, they're not on the same wavelength. So that person is not attracted to them. So the idea is to become the person that you want to be attracted to you and that you want to be attracted to. Does that make sense, guys? Those of you that are on? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
that
so
makes sense. Like attracts like. Yeah, be nice to to find somebody that's equally yoked. Is that what they say? Yes. Juanessa, are you there? Is there something you want to say? Is that how you say your name? She went away. Oh, okay. Hi. I just wanted to welcome you. Oh, you're on mute. You're muted.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm good. What's the question? I'm sorry, I walked away for a moment. Hey, Arlene.
tell us something that you have. Welcome, Vanessa. We're glad to see you. I'm glad you acknowledged her, Omeka. Sometimes I can't see everybody because now I'm on this little TV screen. So, and hi, Darla. Welcome. I am on my cell phone, so it's a little screen, so I can't see everybody. So Omeka's helping me to acknowledge everybody that's on. So the question is, I know you have a great relationship that you just started, Darla. Tell us something that you think you have done that has worked in your relationship. And we said we're following the rules of giving everybody a maximum of 3 minutes to talk, and that we're going to encourage each other in your comments. So anybody can answer. It doesn't have to be one.
Yeah, Juanessa was talking.
Okay, well, I'll answer that. I learned to shut up, to be quiet sometimes, and not, even though you realize that you don't have to always agree, right? It doesn't have to be an agreement, but you do have to be quiet long enough to understand what the other person's point of view is. I'm very outspoken, and I'll be liking to try to get my point across as well. But two people doing that at the same time, it doesn't work. So I learned to just be quiet and listen sometime. He said whatever, but I'm saying sometimes.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much.
It's not like you can just automatically cut it off and shut up, and it's a process. Person to do that when you talking.
Thank you so much, Juanessa, for sharing that. I think that is a key that a lot of us can glean from, knowing when to stop. Okay, because a lot of times we're in heated, not arguments, because we know we're not supposed to argue, but heated conversations. And there's a time where we need to cool off, like step back, because you realize this conversation is getting too heated. It is too escalated. And so you are not listening to me, and I am unable to hear you and digest what you're saying. And so it's time for us to stop. And there's no law that says you have to argue it out in that minute until you resolve the issue. No, what you said, Vanessa, is key. Take a minute, walk away. There's a YouTube video that I did for half an hour that talks about that very thing. If you are in the heat of the challenge, okay, release the heat from the pot or from the kettle. Like the kettle, it's boiling, and the cover is on the kettle, and it's just boiling until eventually the steam comes out. It can't stay. The lid can't stay on. And we never want to be in a relationship where we're disrespectful to each other. And when we get so excited and so emotionally involved, that's when other things can happen. So in my estimation, there shouldn't be any reason for yelling and screaming. Yelling and screaming comes in when you become emotionally aroused, okay? And if you're in your emotions, that means you're not necessarily in your head thinking clear thoughts about what it is I truly want to impart to this person, okay? And if you're not in your head, you're in your emotion, what do you think you're giving to that person?
Not to mention
Exactly.
the things that you say in that process, you know.
Okay, beautiful. Now remember, I'm going to acknowledge Dennis, because he just got on, and I want you to have a chance to share as well. And keep in mind, guys, anybody who wants to talk, just put your hand up so I can acknowledge you and we can have order to go around, because we want to hear from everybody in terms of their comments and what they have to bring to the table. Go ahead, Dennis.
Sure. So the topic is relationships, correct?
Yeah, romantic relationships. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're sharing
okay.
with us. You're sharing with us one thing, just as Vanessa did, that you think can enhance a relationship, something that you have learned from your journey or your struggle that has worked, or maybe it's something that didn't work, and so now you know this is one thing that you can share with us not to do.
Understood. Well, first and foremost, what I learned is utilizing intellect over emotion, but leading with passion. So, you know, hold on, let me put these headphones on. And okay, so okay, so, what I learned within my struggle of having a 19-year relationship is to lead with, or have intellect over emotion, but lead with passion, you know, and that kind of shaped in a form of, you know, having, okay, to be succinct about it, you know, that shaped in the form of having a 19-year relationship, and I retained everything that I learned from that relationship, to have compassion with passion, to have a genuine loving kindness for my significant other, because I realized if I build up my significant other, I build up myself. If I tear down my significant other, I tear down myself. And now I'm here picking up the pieces of my life, and I still retain all the good qualities and bad qualities that I had from my past experiences. Although I push for betterment of self. So I look forward to, you know, moving on to a new relationship. With that being said, I'm a close out.
Okay, I don't know if Arlene is still there. Darla, I guess you can.
Yes, I wanted to acknowledge first what Dennis said, and then we'll go on to Darla. Dennis, thank you for sharing with us, especially having the male perspective. It's wonderful to hear what you said, which is that the way that you communicate with that person and you uplift that person is also going to uplift you. Okay. And if you're tearing down the other person, your partner, or degrading them or saying something negative about them, you're also tearing yourself down, because that's your partner. That's the person who you're doing life with. So many of us are forgetting when we're speaking what Dennis just said. You an accusatory and pointing the finger. But if you have selected this person to be your life partner, what kind of person does it make you if you're selecting this person that is all this long list of things that are derogatory? So it's important, as Dennis said, to share with that person and uplift them, because as you uplift them, you're uplifting yourself in the relationship. And so, like I said, if you're already in a relationship, love the one you're with, okay? And find the good in that person so that they can also find the good in you. Because whatever you give out is what you're gonna get back. And also what you give energy to is what grows and expands. So the more you start to think of their positive qualities, the more positive qualities you see. And the more you can compliment yourself and pat yourself on the back because you picked that great person. Okay? So thank you so much, Dennis. Yes, pat yourself on the back. I see Omeka patting herself. Okay, Darla, we'd love to hear from you because your relationship is fresh. Oh, you're on mute, Darla. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
I hit the wrong button. So what I was saying is, yes, I'm in an excellent relationship, one that has great communication. We both are good at communication, which is important. I found that what I do in the relationship that really helps, and I find that there's a big benefit, is the fact that I can actually ask, this week, are there anything that you need extra help with? How then can he be able to come to me and say, yep, you know what, this would be a benefit this week? You know, I mean, there might be a ton of tasks he's already in the middle of doing. He's the doer of the relationship. So because of that, being the masculine, you know, being in that doing process, he may have not thought of the fact that I could have picked up an extra thing or done a few tasks that could have made his workload a little lighter, you know. So I asked how I can assist, but in the same time, there's no expectations. I never hold an expectation over him to do, and I don't expect him to have one of me. I think that the openness of communication and allowing us both to have that common space to come and speak to one another and share what's important, and opening that floor for both of us to be able to articulate what's necessary in our lives to help each other. It's automatic, because when I ask him what he needs and he shares, and I'm willing to pick up some of those tasks, he immediately says, what can I do to assist you? It's a give and a take automatically. It's the give and receive.
Wow. Very insightful, Darla. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so what I heard you say, Darla, is that you give him an opportunity to share with you what it is that he needs, and you're offering him your help to make his world better. And you're actually not just doing stuff arbitrarily, but you're actually asking him, what is it that I can do for you? What is it that I can do to make your world better? What can I do to enhance you? I think that is so ideal. How many of us in a relationship, in our day-to-day dealings, are actually actively saying, what can I do? Because that is the key for why people get so frustrated, Darla, because they're doing and doing and doing, and what they're doing, that other person may not even be receiving as something of value. You know, so what you said is key. Guys, if you're taking these tools, I hope somebody's taking notes. Okay, take notes, because I'm on the phone. I can't take notes while holding the phone, but I need somebody to take these key tools. This is why the mastermind is so beautiful. So there's this thing called the love language, Darla, and you made me think of the love language. So they say that you need to 5 love languages. Thank you so much, Darla. We need to communicate with people in their love language. So that's why Darla was saying, ask your partner what it is that you can do for them, because you may be loving on them. You may be the most lovingest person in the world. I'm hugging you, I'm kissing you, I'm showing you love. And that's not really what they need from you. What they need is an act of kindness. Okay, they need an act of service. They need you to, as Darla said, go and pick up the laundry for me, wash the dishes for me, pick up the kids for me. And that's how they see love. Buy me a new ring, okay? Even if it's not a huge diamond ring, buy me some flowers. That's how I see love, because it's an action, not necessarily just the words. But then there are other people who you're buying them diamond rings and you're taking them to, we're at this famous place called, I guess I shouldn't say where I am, right? Because now I'm a public figure. Can I say where I am, guys? Shake your head if I can, shake your head no if I can. Okay, well, it's a famous place. It's called Red Rooster in Harlem, New York. And what was I gonna say? It's a famous place in Harlem, New York. And I was saying you can take your partner to Red Rooster and you're, doing, but what they want to hear is I love you. And they don't hear I love you. And so, you're buying food. So what? You buy food all the time. You have to buy food for yourself. You're buying food for me. that's not really a demonstration of love. My love language is I want to hear you say, I love you. So Darla, that's so key. What exactly is it that the other person wants? And so I have people that are coming on and they're signing off. Guys, if I have not acknowledged you, don't feel offended. It's just because I can't see you in my little screen. But Omeka's doing a great job of helping me. So Scott just left. I hope you're not offended in any way, because
You're muted
Yeah,
again.
everybody's
Arlene.
good.
You keep pushing the
It's
button.
all good. I said,
It's all
no
good,
offense,
Darla.
everybody's good. With the 5 love languages, I want to just real quick and say something in regards to that. Quality time, affirmations, encouragement, acts of service, gifts, and physical touch. Those are all the 5. And with those, when you're actually able to find out what the tank of the other person is, and you meet that, it totally changes the dynamics, because generally we give out what we need. So we deplete our tank every day. Dink, 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 dink. As we're going out and around talking to everyone else, we're giving that away. So generally, if it's a pat on the back, it's a cute hug, it's a wonderful, hey, congratulations, you did a great job, kudos to you, whatever it might be. Those types of things may not be what the other person needs. Somebody else may need the dishes done, like Arlene said, or the laundry or something else. Or, somebody might need somebody to go in and actually, do purchase them a gift. Or they may just need to curl up on the couch, cuddle up next to their partner and watch a movie and just know that they have that quality time. Those things are so vitally important. But how do you know what your partner needs if you don't ask? The simple moment of asking a question literally opens the dynamics and allows you. And in the beginning, we think about it, but when we get into our routines and our habits, do we remember to always do that? So I'm good. I'm done talking.
beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Darla. I think Vanessa had something else she wanted to share.
Oh no, I was just taking a whole page from the book of Darla.
Oh, okay. Well, guys, I want you to go online, if you have not already done so, and grab a copy of the book, The 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear, Getting Unstuck, and Living Your Best Life. The way that you do that is to go to askarleneshow.com and click on the link and get the book, because what we're talking about here are just secret number 1, basically, which is being clear about who you are and what you bring to the table, first and foremost, and then being clear about what you want in the other person. And then the second secret is visualization, visualizing that ideal relationship that you want to, hold on one second, visualizing that relationship that you want okay, to manifest. And like I said, it's not just about your career and your job and your money, because when you have that other person, you are going to have to communicate with them about what they want. Okay. And if what they want is something different than what you want, it's going to be very hard to push that boulder up a hill. When you're sitting up at night on your business, making that jewelry like Omeka does, or you're writing that poetry like Dennis does, or you are coaching with another person like I'm doing, when that person wants you to come to bed, they want you to come to bed. Okay. And if they don't understand and they don't see it as a group effort or something that we're doing together and achieving together, they're going to give you pushback. All right. So it's really important that you get all the secrets together. Secret number 3 is momentum, moving in that direction. And so many people, men and women, have spoken to me and said, oh, well, I can't find that ideal person. So they're not like, living in that ideal place like Darla is, talking about her brand new relationship and reflecting that joy. But they're saying, I can't find that person. And one of the reasons why you can't find that person is because you don't know what you're looking for. And so you're clearly not moving in the direction of what you truly want. So it comes to a point where the tongue in your mouth and the tongue in your shoe have to line up and go in the same direction. Otherwise, you don't get the result of what you truly want, because you're saying one thing with your mouth, but then you're doing something and operating in fear with your feet. So that person is coming to you and they want to communicate with you, and you're not seeing them for who they are. So I was in a group of business owners just like this, and many of the ladies, there were ladies who were saying, I don't see the person. And what I'm sharing with you is the same thing that I shared with them. And this lady is happily married now, one of the people from the group. If you truly want a relationship, a successful relationship, you can have a successful relationship. Everyone who wants a successful relationship, who does what is necessary, can have a relationship. So one of the reasons why you don't have a successful relationship, if you don't have one now, is because you don't truly want one. Okay? You're saying you want one, but you don't truly want one. Okay? Or if you have, pardon the colloquialism, a jacked up relationship, or one that isn't working for you, it's because you've not been clear up here and in here, and spent the time to really figure out what is best for you. Okay, so things are flying at you and you're catching them and you're catching them and you're catching them. But when you truly decide who you are and what you want to reflect and what you want to be, then that ideal person begins to come to you. Because again, the proverb, how can two walk together except they agree? So yeah, you can catch this and catch that, but if you guys aren't on the same page, it's not going to work. So I want to acknowledge, I see Christina is on with us, and I want to acknowledge her. Hey, Christina. I just want you to know that if you want to speak or share anything about your relationship, you are free to share with us one tip or secret that you have learned in order to have the ideal relationship. And Omeka is helping me, so if you see her raise her hand, just go ahead and interrupt and acknowledge. Okay, so at the end, usually at the beginning of the call, I give everybody an opportunity to say who they are and what they do. Some of you you've seen before in the mastermind group, but I'm going to ask the people who you've not seen before, if they want to share with us what they do before we sign off, that they can do so. Secret number 4 is that you need to not only have it in your mind and start moving, but also one of the things you need to do is write it down. And everybody talks about writing down what you want, but that's not the first thing, because what happens is people write it down and they put it to the side and you don't look at it, okay? Or you're spending a lot of time writing down what you want. Oh, I want this and I want that and I want that in the other person. But the reason why I say momentum is first, moving in that direction of what it is that you want, and then writing the stuff down afterwards, is because I don't want you to get stuck in the writing process or stuck in the planning process in terms of the relationship, okay? So keep in mind, if that person has a business, and you have a business, like many of the people on this call and who are listening, you guys have to make up in your mind whose business you guys are going to focus on first, okay? And or give each other an opportunity to focus on your respective businesses, because otherwise he's going to want you to spend time on his business and go with him to his functions and go to his things, and she is going to want you to focus on her business and spend time going with her to her functions. So what exactly is the plan?
I actually,
go ahead, Vanessa. Yeah.
I've been there, did that. So I know exactly what you're talking about when you go ahead and, I don't know, as a woman, the type of woman I am, I'm a nurturer. So in that process, everything that he was into, I did it. I was thinking it was going to be some payback for it. It was going to be reciprocated. You know, you always think if you put it in, you're going to get it out. But no, it just turned into a thing of, what you mean you're not going to do it? What you mean you're not going to be here with me? What you mean you're not going to wash the clothes and do this? And it turned into just being totally taken for granted. 100%. So, yeah, no, you can't. It's definitely a delicate balance sometimes until you find that understanding, because you know you could be in a relationship for an amount of time, and if you don't communicate, like Miss Darla down there, you do not really know who you're dealing with. I found 100% that you really don't know who you're dealing with until you get into it. Until there's an argument, until there's a disagreement, and then until there's a skirmish and some type of challenge that you have to overcome. That's when you find out who you're really dealing with. When it's all nice and good and dandy, you don't know who you're dealing with. So yeah, it is definitely communication is key. And being able to communicate, because like I said, some people are just not able to do it. You know, because it either could turn into an argument or a silent treatment when someone does not understand you or don't want to. Narcissism is a big thing right now. I don't know if so many people was born with it, but it's definitely becoming a thing. And with people not having consideration for you, and you will definitely get ran over if you are not aware or not confident enough in yourself to go ahead and let them know that, hey, I'm important too. So yeah, that is definitely a thing, what you just said.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. You're saying that you really see who the person is when there's a conflict. So when everything is hunky-dory and there's sunshine and rainbows and roses, then the person is happy and you're happy. So everything is beautiful. But when you guys have a challenge, that's when you actually begin to see what this person is made of, because the successful relationship will be able to become successful and stand the test of time when you see how the person responds under duress or how the person responds under pressure. Okay, remember the pot that's boiling up? When the pressure in the pressure cooker rises and you guys can still have a good relationship, then that means that you have hope. But if there is no fluidity when there's conflict, and I'm going to ask my co-partner here if he can turn on the flashlight so I can have some light, because down here in Harlem it's getting dark. Ah, beautiful. Okay, that works, but now I'm glowing in the dark. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, there we go. We're working through this, guys. This is the first time I've done YouTube and Zoom. I don't think we're on Facebook on the cell phone. So hey, transparency. But back to what I was saying. When there's conflict, how do you deal with the conflict? That's the secret. Now, if you do all of the 10 secrets and follow them on the front end, the clarity, the visualization, the momentum, the communication piece, all 10 of the secrets, then when you get to that point, like Vanessa said, of conflict, you already know how to handle the conflict, and you know how your partner is going to handle the conflict because you've already discussed it. You've already established who you are and who they are and where the two of you are going, and you understand how of paramount importance the goal is, the bigger goal than just you individually and you separately, but the larger goal of how this successful business that the two of you are venturing to have is going to impact your community, impact your lives, impact your families, impact your friends. And so you can more easily bypass the narcissism that she spoke about and the me, my, and I, because you see the bigger goal and the bigger vision. But if all that stuff doesn't happen on the front end with the 10 secrets, and you're not doing some of the things that Darla has mentioned too, then that's when you run into problems. And I have to acknowledge Donna. Donna,
yeah, I was about to say, hi, how are you?
Donna is on live with us. It's a pleasure. Here's another woman who is a powerful business owner who is endeavoring to do great and wonderful things in the world. So we allowed each other to introduce ourselves at the beginning. But I also want to give Donna an opportunity to share anything that she'd like to share before we close out, because we close out at 8 o'clock. So I want to know if there is one, because I don't know if you've been listening, Donna, if there's one thing that you could share with us that you think has worked well in your relationship or in a relationship, or one thing that you have seen that has not worked well in a relationship that maybe we can learn from, because we can learn from the good as well as the bad. You're on mute. You have to click the button because we can't hear you. Tell us where you're from too, where you are today.
I'm in New York. I was always told that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, So that means we need to listen twice as much as we speak. And if we were to do that, I think we will accomplish most of our goals. And that's it. Arlene, I can't hear you.
Wow. I think that it was so impactful that we needed to hear it twice. You said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and so it's more important for us to listen in a relationship, or twice as much than we speak in a relationship. Donna, I think that's pretty clear. You hit the nail on the head. So often we're interested in speaking. Everybody wants to get their thoughts out. And sometimes even while the other person is speaking, we're thinking about what we're going to say. In which case, how are we really listening? How are we really listening? Because if you're thinking of what you want to say, you can't really reflect back what the person has spoken to you because you didn't hear it. You didn't hear what they said. So I think that's key. I'm so grateful to you and grateful to everybody who joined us this evening. I also acknowledge Christina, who, hold on a second. Somebody's saying something to me from the team. Okay, we want to make sure that before I close out, I don't forget anybody. So we said that at the beginning, we allow everybody to introduce themselves. And so Donna, you shared with us that you're in New York, but sometimes you're also in Atlanta. You're traveling all around.
Next week, Wednesday.
You'll be in Atlanta on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share? Anybody wants to share before we close out? I want to give you an opportunity before we end. Thank you so much for everybody spending the time with us. We're adhering to our time commitment because I'm so excited that you joined us, and we don't want to be we want to be respectful of everybody's time. So is there anything anybody wants to share before we close out?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm attracting the exact person that I need and desire that matches my energy. It could be love at first sight. It could be whatever. I mean, it could be, I tend to attract people that are not really looking for me, particularly as a whole person. I've worked with people before, I've been married, and it was just something that just wasn't quite right. And somehow it was okay for me to say, let's be in a relationship. And so for me, from the beginning, I need clarity within myself and peace and connection, like true connection. So that's what I'm looking for and I'm putting out there. So
I like to say
I'm
something
not
too.
in a relationship right now. No.
I like to say something too, and I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. For me, what I realize is how you come into a relationship is how you leave a relationship. So I'm gonna come into my new relationship looking for a woman who is willing to align the vision with me. So anytime we meet adversity, we look at it from a perspective of a positive challenge, opposed from negativity. That's my goal. That's my goal.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that with us, that when we enter into these challenges, we're going to turn the negatives into positives. So that lends to this concept of love the one you're with and move forward with the one that you're with. Find the joy, find the peace, find the bliss in the person that you're with already. And if you're not with somebody, you have the ability to find that ideal person by following the 10 secrets to overcoming fear, getting unstuck, and living your best life. And I would like everybody to type in the chat what it is that you do so that all the other people on the call can be able to acknowledge what your business is and be able to support you. So some of you, I already know what you do, but we have 1 minute left. Actually, we have no minutes left. And I would like you to type in the chat what it is that you do so that other people can acknowledge it. This post will go on YouTube so other people can see what it is after the call. And so I thank you so much. Remember, AskArleneShow.com. Join us again next week, Thursday at 7 o'clock, because we're on here every week. Thank you so much and have a great time.